Joining us today, we've got a couple of very special guests. Introducing our good friend, Alec Dawson, the lead hero designer. Say hi, Alec.
Hey everybody, excited to chat today.
So
Awesome.
let me get this
And then
straight.
because we are
Baby
going to be
Rain
diving
Go
into some
Boot,
nitty-gritty
Go
about supports, well, it only
Yes.
made sense to bring the most well-known support specialist in the Overwatch community on board. ML7, say hello to everybody out there.
Hey everybody, I'm ML7 and I play support, not healer.
That's right. Oh, I can feel the Twitch chat now. All right. So we've got a lot to talk about with Lifeweaver. We just made this announcement a couple of days ago. If you're out there on the YouTube, you should be seeing a lot of videos from content creators popping up about now. But before we get into that, Alec, how do you feel about talking a little bit about Season 3? Because I think from an overall community perspective, it feels like Season 3 was in a pretty solid state from a balance perspective. We've seen a lot of, really positive sentiment regarding some of the changes that we made with Sojourn, some of the balance adjustments that we've made, especially with the Wrecking Ball, like seeing him come out within the meta and being a dominant hero. So, how are you feeling about the way things are, and how's the team feeling about balance in Season 3?
Yeah, it was pretty balanced. Not
the team's
anymore.
been doing great. I think with Season 3, we saw a lot of variety, especially at the tank role in particular. Tons of variety there.
Man, that was
Reinhardt, nice. Wrecking Ball, as you mentioned. Even later on this season, we've seen some uptick in Zarya play and things of that nature. So a lot of variety overall. I think the game's been
Turn
very
it up.
healthy
My God,
state.
it's blasting.
Just insane in terms of heroes can get picked.
It's literally almost redlining on my
or even
OBS.
dropping map pools.
Turn
So
your
we feel
computer
like
up.
That's even going to increase more variety on specific. Like overall, there's this season had a lot of sniper maps and things of that nature. So that map pool going away will actually open up even more for the whole roster.
I think that's an interesting point there. I know that personally I'm really excited about the removal of map pools. I know that a lot of players will be excited to get that more map variety, because for a lot of folks, maps are a big reason why they play Overwatch. And then, I would echo what you said from a balance standpoint. We kind of
zoom
have a
in. I
saying
can't
community
see.
is that if
Is
everybody's
the
a little bit
old?
unhappy
Do we have
with
the
some
senior
things, but
citizens
overall
home here?
happy with
Who
most
can't
things,
see,
then
can't hear?
we're in a good place.
Guys, it's
And
fine.
That doesn't mean we should rest on our laurels, of course. We're constantly looking for
Who
opportunities
put me
to
on?
improve,
Who put me on the
adjust, and
living room of the
change
old folks' home,
experience.
dude?
But ML, I'm
in,
interested in your take.
balanced
and, I know you had
gardens
some
somewhere in
questions
Virginia.
about, Season
Jesus.
3. What have you been seeing on live servers? What have you been experiencing during your streams? And what questions do you have?
I feel like Season 3 was a really good season, team comp-wise. We had a lot of heroes being played. We've seen a lot of Reinhardt, a lot of Wrecking Ball, Ana, Zenyatta, Mercy, a huge diversity of heroes compared to Season 1 and 2, in my opinion. So the game is slowly but surely evolving into a really good state, gameplay-wise. But I do gotta ask you, what are some of the heroes that caught your attention in Season 3?
Yeah, I think some of the ones that definitely caught our attention, we made those adjustments early on to Wrecking Ball, right? I think that definitely caught our eye. The story of Wrecking Ball, there's a decline over time. Not too steep.
Oh my God, it's the all-time usage? Oh,
Jesus. So it was interesting to see
Jesus.
where that story ended up. And then who else rose with Wrecking Ball? We saw a lot of break play. We saw a lot of Zen play. We weren't really seeing those heroes be as much meta picks. And then late in the season, we've been seeing a lot more Mei, even in some pro games as well. And some of the pro-am stuff, we've been seeing Mei get played a lot. So we're keeping an eye and seeing where she ends up.
So let's get a little bit specific, talking about some of the tanks that you just brought up. I mean, namely, of course, Ryan. And here's one that was a little bit surprising for me to hear about. Zarya has actually seen an uptick in usage. And then, of course, Wrecking Ball. What have we actually seen since the mid-season patch that happened just a few weeks ago?
Zarya got a change of her bubble, which was good.
Yeah, Zarya was definitely the biggest winner there in terms of her win rate overall, right? I think we're at a comfortable state in terms of how long the cooldowns are on the bubbles and how long they last. So we're in this nice state where it isn't.
I hate when they show the all ranks thing.
Being a hero that's around 45%.
I understand
multiple segments,
but this is so hard being carried by gold plat, where they just pick Reinhardt because they want shield. They only showed this really, really fast. Ranked hero usage rates timeline, all ranks. Okay, so the top is Rhine, right? The top is Rhine, Sigma, Zarya, Wrecking Ball. But most bronze through gold players don't understand how to play Wrecking Ball. They have no clue how to play the character, like at all. Sigma's easy, Ryan's easy. They can just stand there, pick shield thing, and be fine. You know, this is why I don't like when they show all ranked stuff like this, because I don't even think this is like dominant. Like, yeah, he's much higher in pick rate, usage rate, but it's like it's also one of the more easy, noticeable, and most long time used characters. Of course, a character like Ball, who they all don't think is very good and don't know how to play him, isn't going to get a high pick rate. So that's going to kind of the data. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you can't just look at data all the time for that kind of stuff. I don't know. All right, now let's skip ahead to... So again, the top line is still Ryan. Barely had any changes. Actually dropped off a little bit, slightly. And the reason I think he dropped off is because he just wasn't as good. Like, people realize that other characters are actually pretty good. Zarya actually goes up a ton. Because of the bubble change by 1 second. But Zarya and Ryan are gonna always be like mirror images of each other, where like people who are more DPS heavy and like to just go are gonna play Zarya, and more of the tank play style people who want to be shielding, protecting, doing up close melee damage are gonna pick Ryan. And then Sigma and Ball, unmirrored win rates, I'm not that surprised that they're 52. Like, they're not crazy high, but that's because Sigma and Wrecking Ball, they're probably not also able to use them to their highest capabilities. Meanwhile, Reinhardt, you obviously can use him to his highest capability, or mostly just by getting up close and swinging. Like, as long as you don't shield bot, you're pretty much good to go. I hate that this is probably the data they use to come up with the next patch, because it's slightly flawed. I would actually like to see what the high rank win rate looks like over time.
This nice state where it isn't Overwatch 2 launch in terms of how powerful she was, but it's in a pretty good state. She went up from being a hero that was around 45% win rate at multiple segments to being around 50%. So that's a pretty big adjustment there. And we feel like she's in a good place now. I think it's one of those things where when we nerf heroes, we want to look at them over time, see how they perform, see if we want to make any small buffs. And Zarya to this point got a...
Wait, did they say all their tank win rates are 60 and above? Wait, did they just say that and I missed it?
Pretty big adjustment there. And we feel like she's in a good place now. I think it's one of those things where when we nerf heroes, we want to...
I read something in chat. I thought they said it.
Look at them over time, see how they perform, see if we want to make any small buffs. And Zarya to this point got a few to get back to that place where we feel like she's, pretty viable now.
Okay. So, Alec, you did mention, like, we are seeing a lot of new tanks in the meta right now. ML, like, that you just call that out, like it's a big reason. What are you seeing out there, and like what has been like the impact on like the fun factor in the games that you've been in?
I feel like right now, Overwatch has always had gameplay-wise, at least in top 500, you have always been having the issues in which you have players that would specialize in one hero, and then you could counter that hero pretty well. Right now, with how balance is made, I feel like, for example, if you want to play with Zarya, you have a chance at winning. If you want to play with Wrecking Ball, you have a chance at winning. And I feel like the dev team is responding quite fast to seeing heroes that don't have that big of a win rate because of the previous nerfs. Like Zarya got a bunch of nerfs from what I remember a couple of months ago. Now, small buffs, and we're still seeing her being played. I think that's how Overwatch should be. Every hero should be viable, even if not optimal, and you shouldn't feel discouraged that you're going to lose the game if you're not on the strongest team comp available in the meta right now, right then.
He's right, but here's the thing. What ML is saying is not the same thing that we've been shown, because certain things like, let's say Sim is really good on a couple maps where they're like really a really good pick. And if you pick some on those maps, you have a really good chance of winning. From a developer side, it almost seems like they want Sim to be viable on all maps. So then they will buff Sim to compensate, and then you throw her out of whack, and now she's like OP. When it's like, we're in a spot right now where like most characters can be played on a lot, like on certain maps.
Because nobody plays perfectly, let's be honest. Mistakes can happen. And having all of these heroes available with different playstyles, Reinhardt with the shield, the Wrecking Ball just rolling to the back line, and Zarya just walking up and zapping you, Is what
Apart
makes
from
Overwatch
Genji,
fun.
true.
Right on. And one of the things to keep in mind there too is that actually changes, around the world as you go from region to region. We're talking about Zarya, we're talking about Wrecking Ball, we're talking about Reinhardt being strong. However, and this is really interesting, the community team, we were just talking to Alec about this earlier this week. In Korea, actually
Global.
Diva is considered very strong meta.
Yes,
right?
yes. This is why. Remember when last time when Siegel was on, he actually talked about this. See, all of those win rates, I wonder if it's only NA, because in Korea, dive is actually the dominant play style. So I'm not surprised it's Diva,
because they focus much more around the dive rush kind of comps. Alec, what do you think when you hear what ML just broke down, and then kind of contextualizing it with some of the feedback we're getting from other regions?
Yeah, I think part of our job is definitely looking at some of those outliers still. I do think there's heroes at the bottom end that we're still looking at in terms of trying to bring them over time, or they're in a position where, hey, there's more of a rework in progress. Heroes like Roadhog, I think, aren't meeting that bar. Sometimes we look at Orisa. Was she over nerfed over time? We're still taking a look at
no, and yes, actually, kind of, yes, she was
at that as well. So those are some of the heroes we're talking about. Sombra,
no.
In a few seasons we'll talk more about what her changes are going to be. So
Those
are some of the heroes that we definitely see are on the bottom end. We'd like to lift up over time as well, because while we have a lot of variety, it's never good to have some heroes that may just feel like they're out of the game or out of the meta, and we want them to be more involved and be more viable overall.
I want to ask Alex something. Are there any heroes that you think the community might be undervaluing strength-wise? Like Andy said about Diva, right now everybody's talking about Reinhardt, Wrecking Ball, Zarya. Are there any heroes that you think are in a strong state, but we haven't caught onto that yet?
It's interesting. I think a lot of the heroes that are in strong states, people have mentioned or been seeing some comps pop up. Like Bastion has been seeing a lot more play. May's been seeing a lot more play. One that people kind of know of, but they don't really talk about that much, is Sigma. I think Sigma's been strong for quite a while, actually.
Yes.
I would say Sigma's balanced, though. He's strong but balanced. He's not like a pick everywhere, that type of character.
Especially on some of the maps we've been playing lately. It just doesn't gain.
That's why, it's a map-based pick. That's why I don't understand him getting nerfed. He was strong on certain maps, your Junkertowns, your Circuit Royales, and now because the map pool was favoring those maps, now that you're going to remove map pools, you're going to nerf the character? I don't even really play Sigma. It's just kind of annoying. No shit. Why didn't Widow get a nerf? Widow's been extremely strong this season because it's been a Widow map pool. Why did Widow not get nerfed? It's just the logic doesn't apply to everybody.
A lot of ire or anything like that. He's never really a hot topic in the community. So, there's an adjustment.
Wait, did you say Sigma's never been a hot topic in the community? Alec, that's just not true.
For quite a while. One that people kind of know of, but they don't really talk about that much, is Sigma. I think Sigma's been strong for quite a while, actually, especially on some of the maps we've been playing lately. It just doesn't gain a lot of ire or anything like that. He's never really a hot topic in the community.
That's not true.
There's an adjustment to Sigma coming into season 4.
We literally talked about Sigma for 2 years.
A small one to the rock, so we'll talk about that more later too.
I think with Sigma, it's one of those things, and I think Sigma's starting to kind of fall into some of the Reinhardt category where, if you look at I know ML has said this, I know Flats and Emong and several creators have said this, is when Ryan is in the meta, the game is in a healthy state, right? And I feel like Sigma is kind of falling in that way. Now, keep in mind, this is my, gold, silver Andy opinion here, but
God, Andy knows so well that I was going to watch this, and I swear to God, he's so fucking self-aware at this point. It's so funny to me. This is why I like Andy.
Sigma, it feels like there's some very obvious counterplay to it, and it's easy to understand, and what you're playing around. The cooldown on the rock, the shield has that value, right? And it's only got the set amount of utility, things like that. And so, just an observation. I think that possibly could be contributing to that.
I wouldn't totally agree with that because Sigma. Not totally, just because Sigma has so much utility, he can kind of be played almost anywhere by someone who's really, really high level, but Reinhardt doesn't have the same thing. Even Cloudy, who's literally Reinhardt one trick, he has 7,000 hours or some shit, could probably tell you that there's maps that you spawn in on, and if they have a certain comp, he just goes GG, it's over. There's nothing I'm doing in this game. So Hey, I'm sure someone could correct me if I'm wrong. But Sigma doesn't have a map like that.
I would also like to say that I feel like old school Overwatch heroes are really loved meta-wise, and we will always default to them. Like me personally, I enjoy playing with Reinhardt team comps, with Winston team comps and stuff.
True.
And Sigma's kind of new. He wasn't there at the beginning. And the experience that we've had playing with certain heroes will slowly but surely make us feel like it takes some time, what I'm trying to say, to get adjusted to new heroes and new playstyle. And I feel like even if Sigma is not seen as really strong, I think that he's strong kit-wise and stuff, but he just doesn't stand out experience-wise. Like, he's not that frustrated to play against. He's like, okay, Sigma's good on that map, good design overall.
Yes,
he's
that's
not
why
like
the rock
a big
combo's
shield
not
in front of
frustrating.
you, I pin in, I'm either too strong or I'm too weak. So overall, I think that his design...
Sigma's also never had a state where he's ever been weak. Ever. Sigma has never been weak in Overwatch. Ever. Since he's released in 2019, he's never been weak. 3 years, the character has never not been good.
Overall,
He just doesn't feel cheesy, though. Except when it was double shield. Then it was cheesy.
his design is what makes him go a little bit under the radar.
So, because I know we got a lot still to get through here, I'm going to go ahead and move us on to damage.
And when he was released, I guess when he was released, it was, but everybody knew. Everybody knew. He was released, they said he was going to be a main tank. So he had main tank qualities with off tank damage. It was not funny.
You were mentioning, you mentioned Sombra. I thought that was kind of funny because she saw a lot of play in this, in the recent tournament, right?
Definitely.
That was great to see. But let's actually take a second to talk about Cassidy. So we're going to be making some changes to Cassidy in season 3 and season 4, and it's going to be targeting the mag grenade. And this is, look, from the community side, we've been getting a lot of feedback about this over the last few months.
Yeah.
A lot of Cassidy specialists have been, having some conversations with us, and we're trying to understand, like, what's the point of frustrations with Cassidy? And so the changes we're going to be making, we're going to be changing magnetic grenade damage, reducing that from 131 down to 120. And then we're also going to be reverting his base health back from 225.
I don't think Cass is going to be that good now. I think he's going to be okay. He'll definitely have a big drop. He'll still be okay, but he'll have a big drop.
What's the goals here? What are we trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times this is looking at, where's Cassie in the meta, and Cassie's by far and away the most popular damage hero. It's not even really close in terms.
The reason for that, though, in my opinion, is just because he's very standard. He's pretty easy to play, and is a really good default pick if you're not a confident DPS player. If you're someone who's not a confident DPS player, like if you're a confident DPS player, you play Tracer, right? All the flashy, really high mechanical skill, confident DPS players play Tracer, or at least hit scan players. If you're not that confident, you kind of go to Cass. Like, he's like I can stay a little bit longer with the more HP. The hit scan gun. You hit a couple shots. Worst comes to worst up close, you can right click. You know what I mean? You go to Soldier 76. Nobody goes to Soldier 76. Welcome to 2023. I need you to come out of the time machine that was 2017. Nope. Soldier is not the default. I don't know what I'm doing. So Soldier is not that guy no more. I'll tell you that much. So anyways, though, that's why I think he's strong, but he's also a comfort pick for a lot of people.
In terms of percentages from what we're seeing.
Soldier is that guy, though. You're high. Really? You're telling me that Soldier, the damage over time character, is the one that people will go to. I'll tell you when you go to that, if you're like gold, because you can just stand there and shoot their tank and you farm damage, and then you can look at the lobby and go, guys, I have 36,000 damage in 19 limbs. What are you guys doing? Huh? My teammates, they all suck. You know why Soldier's not that scary? Is because he doesn't have finishing power. Cassidy has finishing power. If Soldier's your go-to quote-unquote comfort pick, welcome to 2023. Even Emong when we play DPS, he plays Soldier. You know why he plays Soldier? Because it was his pick in 2016, 2017. He'll tell you that himself. Go ask him. I guarantee it. He'd probably be a little bit confused if you just ask him out of context, to be honest with you. So give a little bit of context, I guess. But point is, though, yeah, now he plays Widow. Point is, though, it's a good comfort pick for a lot of people. So, yes, I do think he needed some nerfs, and he probably needed some changes to the grenade. I don't know. I'm not totally all in on the health change yet, but
and then some of those changes there are to, hey, first mag grenade. People, we get a lot of feedback about mag grenade in particular, how frustrating it can maybe play. Going down to 120, hit some of those breakpoints, on a 200 HP character. Also, with the HP decrease, we're sort of looking overall at Cassie and whether he should be framed as this mid-range hero or maybe a little bit more long-range. So actually, down the line, we have some further changes for Magnetic Grenade Plane that we're still working on, and that might become more long-range ability too. So we're looking at his kit holistically, trying to figure out exactly where he's going to end up. But putting that HP back, because he did get that gun in terms of the gun buff from last season. That's been doing a lot of work for him too. So we're reducing a few things. Hopefully not as whenever Cassie is good, he instantly kind of becomes one of the most popular characters in the game, and that's been true basically all season 3.
I just want to say that Cassidy is really consistent overall. It's all about like that risk factor. Like Widowmaker, you might miss your shots with Cassidy. Okay, you miss 3 or 4, you're gonna reload fast and then consistently put out a bunch of damage. I just want to say that I just thank you for making it feel less frustrating to play against.
wait, you guys, did I miss something?
Also, with the HP decrease, we're sort of looking overall at Cassie and whether he should be framed as this mid-range hero or maybe a little bit more long-range. So actually, down the line, we have some further changes for Magnetic Grenade Plane that we're still working on, and that might become more long-range ability too. So we're looking at his kit holistically, trying to figure out exactly where he's going to end up. But putting that HP back, because he did get that gun in terms of the gun buff from last season. That's been doing a lot of work for him too. So we're reducing a few things. Hopefully not as whenever Cassie is good.
It's gonna be the how like what's her name? Raze from Valorant? The girl with the rocket launcher goes it's gonna be Cass with a
he instantly kind of becomes one of the most popular characters in the game, and that's been true basically all season 3.
I'll pause
I
as
just want to say that Cassidy is really consistent overall. It's all about like that risk factor. Like Widowmaker, you might miss your shots with Cassidy. Okay, you miss 3 or 4, you're gonna reload fast and then consistently put out a bunch of damage. I just want to say that I just thank you for making it feel less frustrating to play against the Cassidy. When you get body shot and then you get the grenade attached to you, you would die because that would be over 200 damage. Right now it's at 190, I think. So
Yep.
should definitely be less frustrating to play against.
If you would like to go check out the full patch notes, you can read more about this stuff on the official forums. We have them live now. So let's get into support. Before we talk about Lifeweaver, let's talk about support. So we've seen some changes. Like
I have to just say this really fast. Why does it look like Lifeweaver about to smack Andy upside the head? I didn't say Lifeweaver. No, I didn't. Shut up.
we mentioned before, like Brig, Zenyatta, they're coming into the meta. Alec, I know support's been like one of our biggest like areas that we've been focusing on for a long time. Like Aaron just released a letter, stating like the approach that we are taking to supports and like the kind of feedback that we get. How do you feel like supports are feeling since the mid-season patch?
Yeah, we feel pretty good about the safe support at the moment. There's been a lot of buffs over time. There's even some more buffs here for the supports. Holistically, we've just been looking at the role and how much pressure they've been, feeling and how have they been able to actually fight back in a lot of positions too. So that's where a lot of their buffs have been targeted at times as
Chat be gaslighting you. I'm so used to it at this point. I'm so used to being gaslit by this chat. It's not even funny.
well. So we feel like there's a lot of variety in the role at the moment. Ana is still very popular. And then we're going to be adding a new support that I'll talk about later. So that increases hopefully even more, choice there. I think that's really important to us over time is to build out the support role, add more supports throughout the year. And hopefully, players can latch on to ones that they really love. So we feel pretty good about it. ML, what about you?
I'm going to say this, Alec. I think that
Okay.
compared to season 1, support does feel a little bit better to play. I think that we still haven't found the sweet spot yet, but definitely I can see more tools than before being added to the game to try to help out support and support gameplay overall. So I'm excited for the future and what season 4 has in store for us.
Very cool.
That was a very, very, very good answer, ML. Because he was like, yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's good. I bet he has a lot more opinion than that, though.
I know that you had another question you were wanting to ask here about the synergy between, seeing Brig and Zen popping up and the synergy between them and like Wrecking Ball. Did you want to expand a little bit more on that, ML?
Yes. So from my understanding, Brig and Zen have been played together quite a lot compared to before, right? So we've seen an uptime
Yep.
in the
Brig
play
Zen.
time.
Overwatch 1
Do
comp.
you think that this is because of Wrecking Ball being very strong? And if yes, if let's say Wrecking Ball will not be played that much in the future, do you keep an eye out for Brig and Zen if they're going to be at the same power level or not?
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. I mean, Wrecking Ball in particular, they do play nice there. I think like Brig and Ryan can play together a lot too. There's a lot of that going on. Zen's just been quite strong. He got that little bit of a buff overall to reduce how many windows of vulnerability that he has in terms of increasing the ammo to 25 now. So we'll keep an eye on them independently as well, and just see when these changes come in with Lifeweaver as well. What comes through with Lifeweaver?
And if yes, if let's say Wrecking Ball will not be played that much in the future, do you
What?
keep an eye out for Brig and Zen if they're going to be at the same power level or not?
Yeah,
Wait, you guys said he said it? No, he didn't.
we'll definitely keep an eye on it. I mean, Wrecking Ball in particular, they do play nice there. I think like Brig and Ryan can play together a lot too.
Huh? Wait, what?
I mean, Wrecking Ball in particular, they do play nice there. I think like Brig and Ryan can play together a lot too.
No. No. Alec, no. No. Brig and Ryan do not work together. That's just not true.
There's a lot of that going on. Zen just
It's actually, since Overwatch 1, other than GOATs, it's been pretty much defined that if Brig is good, Ryan isn't good. And if Ryan is good, Brig isn't good. You guys think you guys are so focused on, he says wife lever? No, he doesn't.
just been quite strong. He got that little bit of a buff overall to reduce how many windows of vulnerability that he has in terms of increasing the ammo to 25 now. So we'll keep an eye on them independently as well, and just see when these changes come in with Lifeweaver as well. What
Wait, did he say it?
as well, and just see when these changes come in with Lifeweaver as well.
No, he says Lifeweaver. No, he did. He said Lifeweaver.
As well, and just see when these changes come in with Lifeweaver as well.
No, he doesn't say it. No. It's like a small fumble.
Just come in with Lifeweavers.
Nah, he does. It's not. He didn't say wife lever. Stop. He did not say what. Listen, I will criticize this man for the Brig Ryan comments. I will defend this hill. He did not say wife lever. He said life weaver. It just goes like he just says he goes life weaver. Okay.
Independently as well, and just see when these changes come in with Lifeweaver as well. What comes?
Yeah, he said life weaver. You can hear the. No, you guys are coping.
Through with Lifeweaver, is that going to be a thing? Right.
Wait, there's a second one. Wait, what?
Lifeweaver as well. What comes through with Lifeweaver, is that going to be a thing?
He says
when these changes come in with Lifeweaver as well.
He says it twice. No, he's saying Lifeweaver. Stop. You guys are hearing. It's like the gold dress, but for ears.
What comes through with Lifeweaver, is that going to be a thing? Right. So that's how we'll be kind of taking a broader look at it.
Okay, so you're waiting to see with the new support if they're gonna
You're telling me the subtitles don't lie. You've never seen the subtitles say something stupid before? How long have you been on the internet? 3 minutes? 10 minutes?
gel differently, if you can see different team support combos to see if they need changes or not in the future.
Definitely.
Okay.
Speaking of changes,
No one would ever lie on the internet for.
I just want to make sure you all are buckled in for this one, because it's time to talk about Mercy. Are we ready? Okay, so as always, Mercy is a very polarizing hero within the community. And I think that, no matter what, like, any change that we make to Mercy is always going to drive a significant amount of conversation, both critical and positive, right? And I think that
True. People actually don't give a shit about the Mercy changes because, dude, what geniuses? Wait a minute. They introduce more Mercy changes and just do some wild on the side, so nobody pays attention to the Mercy. Everyone looks at the other crazy. So they're figuring it out.
Alec, I'd be curious to know, like, your take on community response to the changes that we introduced to Mercy in season 3. And also, like, let's talk also about like where we're going to be moving to with that. So, why don't you go ahead and go through your thoughts on that response, and then I can give an update on what we're going to be doing with Mercy in season 4.
Yeah, of course. I think the season 3 changes, there was a lot of good, and there were some things we weren't as good, right? I think in particular, if you look at something like the buff to the change to her staff, where you're healing allies that they're underneath 50%, you're healing them more. I think as a design goal, that was achieving what we wanted in terms of her being this triage healer. She's really like looking for like when she might need to heal and actually save some of her allies a bit better, right? But on the opposite side, on the enemy side, it was like, well, how can I can't kill this target? That's how it felt for a lot of players, right? They felt like it was really hard to chew through that healing, really hard to actually, kill a target that Mercy was pocketing. So we are going to be reverting that entirely, going back to 55 as a standard, no longer getting that bonus. But then some other things we really enjoyed, like her sympathetic recovery passive, where as Mercy heals her allies, she heals as well. We really like that one. We're going to keep that. So there's a number of things going into season 4 that we're keeping, a number of things that we're looking back on that, hey, this isn't entirely what we wanted to get out of it. There was a good goal there. May not have gotten there 100%. I think another thing is her Guardian Angel changes, right? Now we're looking at it. So it broke some of her synergies that she had in her kit. Say you fly to an ally to res them. There was definitely some moments there where, hey, Mercy could kind of be sitting really vulnerable. Now, if you do that, the cooldown's going down, so you'll be able to get out. But if you're opting into using her crouch cancel or the space bar to actually get that extra mobility, you're going to extend your cooldown. So giving her a bit more optionality.
He's just being
there
respectful and listening. That's
all right. So speaking of those changes and kind of like going back on some of the things that we implemented before, in season 4, Mercy will see her Caduceus staff healing.
It really is how you say it. Yeah, that sounds stupid.
Per second increased from 45 to 55. Healing is no longer increased for
chat. You guys have brain damage. Like, you guys are literally rotting. You guys are rotting. Like, something has done something to this game that not all of you literally jumped to Caduceus. Stop.
Allies under half health. Guardian Angel, we're changing the cooldown from 2.5 and back to the 1.5 seconds. Jump crouch, aka super jump, which is something that a lot of Mercy specialists like really enjoy about her kit. A lot of
people enjoy a lot of things, apparently.
Now keep the ability active for an additional 0.5 seconds. Previously, it was 1 second. And so that's a little bit of an adjustment there. And I think adds some challenge to the mobility, but still being responsive to player feedback that we've gotten. Stopping Guardian Angel with the ability input after using a jump or crouch cancel no longer starts the cooldown sooner. And then for Valkyrie, the support role passive healing is now active for the duration of Valkyrie as well. So, Alec, why did we make these changes specifically?
Yeah, a lot of this is, based on just how Mercy's been playing season 3, a lot of the feedback from the community, looking at how players are feeling as Mercy or how are they feeling playing against Mercy. And these are some things where, hey, the Valkyrie change that we made, we wanted to kick that back in, let players, like, they don't always have to be healing to get, healing allies to actually get that kicked in. They can go around and fly as Mercy and try to use their guns sometimes. I know players really do enjoy trying to do things of that nature too. So a lot of this is tiny adjustments over time and getting a lot of feedback from the community to see what's feeling best. And hopefully this state of Mercy will feel really good.
Awesome.
I feel like with Mercy, I play Mercy from time to time, not too much. But whenever I play Mercy, considering how many iterations she had, she requires a lot of muscle memory. I like the fact that you're bringing back the Guardian Angel at 1.5 seconds compared to 2.5 seconds.
For that.
And I want to ask you this. Is this the iteration that you think you'll be satisfied with going on into the future? And if yes, and if this is going to become, if she's going to become meta, will we just see number adjustments, or can we expect more changes to her mobility in case she's really strong?
Yeah, I think changing her mobility is something we're really sensitive to, right? And if anything, we've been doing it maybe too much at this point in time. So we hope that this change in particular will let it settle for a little while, see how this goes. Maybe look if there's any other changes that need to be made. Maybe look at the rest of her kit, then target her mobility initially.
Mercy players didn't have an opinion on this.
As you said,
I can't have an opinion on this. I don't know what the changes are,
building
good
that
or
for a
bad.
long time, and hopefully
the movement's good,
this one
though.
we can settle
I can
on
tell-
and
I
then
think I
see
can
how
say
the
that
rest of everything
confidently.
else plays out.
So coming in season 4, we also have some changes for Moira. Fade can now be activated during Coalescence. Coalescence
Why?
bonus movement speed
dude,
has been
this is so
reduced
dumb.
from 50 to 40%, and Biotic Grasp lingering heal duration has been increased from 2 to 3 seconds. Alec, give us a little bit of insight as to the design goals here.
Yeah, so one of those goals we've been having for Moira for a while is increase her playmaking ability. We still in the background
Let's
are
leave.
maybe looking at where her utility is. Does anything need to be added? But we played with this change in particular. You could fade during Coalescence, and it's just a lot of fun. A lot of highlights there for Moira. She feels really powerful doing.
A lot of highlights. It's not a. That is a major alarm bell when the person who's in charge of balance's reasoning for changing something is to make more highlights. There's no fucking shot they want more TikTok Moira clips, right? There's no fucking way. I think this is an actual admission. I think I could use this in court. Is that not an admission of guilt?
During the ultimate even more than she did before. So this change in particular, is part of that playmaking ability. When she activates her ult, she can, jump into the back line and things of that nature. So it's
I feel like if I was a prosecutor, I just got the confession. What?
feels really powerful during the ultimate even more than she did before. So this change in particular, is part of that playmaking ability. When she activates her ult, she can, jump into the back line and things of that nature. So it's pretty cool.
Moira has been, I think,
Is that
through
not
a
an
lot of
admission?
evaluation, even, back in the beta phase, right? And ML7, like you probably remember, like the Moira, like the Biotic Orb buff that we made to try and add some utility to it. Did you
the
have some
enfeebling
thoughts on
orb.
this? Yeah,
That was awful.
Enfeebling orb. I personally loved it, but DPS
No, that shit was awful. I'm sorry, ML.
and tanks didn't. I've always been
Of course, the DPS and tanks didn't. No shit, we wouldn't want. No shit, we don't want an ability that turns us off for 4 seconds. Like what?
fan of Moira. I love playing Moira. The only thing with Moira I feel like is the fact that apart utility-wise, she only brings healing and damage. And we see that in Season 4, she gets a small healing buff that the lingering effect increases from 2 to 3 seconds.
That's actually kind of big, though.
And we also see that you can fade during Coalescence. So you can readjust and reposition in the team fights, either to escape or to secure kills, which is cool. I can definitely see like the playmaking potential. But at the higher ranks, it always comes to the question, if we need more than healing and damage, then we're not gonna pick Moira. Who else can we pick? So the question that I have for you is the following: are you considering adding some form of utility to Moira other than healing or damage, or are you satisfied with the
I'm actually in the opposite camp, is that it's okay to have a character that's very simple like that. And its whole point is to do a lot of healing, to a lot of easy AoE healing and easy not like aiming damage. Like, I think that's okay. I think it's okay. I don't think every character needs to be like Kiriko, where it has like a high skill ceiling where you need like to hit headshots with the kunais and be good timing with your Suzu and TPing and taking flanks and doing all this or like Baptiste, where Baptiste is very mechanically intensive, where you're trying to left click, right click, do a lot of damage, obviously like jumping up, trying to like look for more opportunities. I don't think every character needs to have a bunch of utility. And that scares me though, because I don't think every character should have like they're on a power trip. Like it's just, when someone's on a power trip, everyone else doesn't have fun. That person gets to have fun. Roadhog was a good example. Playing Roadhog was fun. And that was the argument people had for Roadhog was, well, Roadhog's a good character because he's fun to play. Yeah, but then he ruins everyone else's fun. It's like that person at a fucking movie who's losing their shit, screaming, laughing, being loud, doing obnoxious commentary and like just screaming out to the audience. Yeah, they're having a blast, but everyone else who came to just watch the movies is probably having a terrible time because some dumbass won't shut the fuck up. You didn't sign up for that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of the same thing.
The fact that Moira is, I would say, probably the highest healing support in the game.
It's still something we're looking at, but I wouldn't say it's, top of the list in terms of what our game needs right now, in terms of what the cast may need, and in terms of those reworks or who might need the most attention. I mean, Moira,
So are they thinking about
we want her
reworks?
to be that comfort pick. We don't want to mess up her flow
Comfort
too
pick.
much. We really want her to be this place where, hey, if you feel like you
Wow.
need damage or you need more healing, she has some of those raw numbers, especially at
Wow,
some
actually, Alec and me agree on this. Holy
lower
shit.
ranks, right? So
All
we want
right.
to make sure we don't mess with her flow. She stays in sort of that role that she is providing for a lot of players. But we have tried some things. We have tried some things, added some utility, some of the orbs, and seeing what's happened. Nothing is stuck just yet. So we're still working on that in the background.
Could you give us
Skill curve wise, though, it's terrible. What do you mean? I don't think you should keep adding more and more abilities to supports. Like, the new character that's coming out literally has like run out of buttons. They hit like the maximum amount of buttons you can hit on a character. That's where we're at this point. We're like, a new support has so many f***ing buttons that they don't have any more buttons to use. They ran out of buttons.
one example? I know I'm reaching out.
Gosh.
No, not the one that almost
Good
made it
question.
through. There's one. Just one idea.
Good question.
Okay, I'll
curious.
give you one that's not happening. But we definitely played a fun where, as you launch the orb, it would actually reveal any targets it was hitting.
Ooh,
but the problem was
Sonic.
like it was so many, and it felt like it wasn't really natural to Moira and who she is and what her kit actually is about. So that's not going to happen.
Thank
but
God.
we've been messing with a bunch of them. We'll keep messing around. There's a lot of stuff. I think, yeah, even some ones in the future they may see in events. Like, we've been
Wall hacks Moira. Surely not.
trying things, but yeah, nothing to announce.
When you're looking at other utility you can add to Moira, do you look only at the orb or at the Fade and Coalescence as well?
Yeah, I think Orb is one of
Shatter another button. She's got like 3 to go, right?
those places where we just believe that there is room for that in particular. But at the same time, we don't want to break that flow. So it's like, is there room for utility in when the orb is shot, and you don't have to do anything else, right? Does it do something a little bit different in its effect? Things like that. So that's just a place where I feel like, those moves are relatively basic. There might be a little bit of room to add a tiny bit of complexity there, but we don't want to overdo it. I do think Fate has, quite a bit already on it with the jump and everything.
The movement and
Yeah.
understand.
Now, speaking of adding utility, let's transition to one of my favorite supports, Brigitte. Now, in mid-season 2, we increased the health on her shield.
It's time. Oh no. This better be a PhD level consultate, like, what is it? I don't remember what it's called anymore. It's like a connotation on why they did this, and it better be f***ing good.
In the start of season 3, we added that additional
Dissertation.
burst of healing to her health pack. So I think we've been pretty steadily looking and examining Brigitte. And Alec, you've actually been talking about wanting to take a close look at the ultimate ability, and players are going to see Brig's new ultimate ability starting in season 4. Alec, do you mind kind of going over these changes, and let's get into it?
Yeah, so there's a number of changes
Sorry,
here.
oops.
The goal is being to make this a
Slipped
bit
out.
more situational in terms of how good it can be in certain situations, and also increase like what you're thinking of doing with the ult. Also makes Brig a little bit more scary in the ult as well. So at the beginning of the ultimate, she gains 100 armor health, and this is restorable for duration of rally, right? So she just gains this. She press Q, it comes up, she has
Oh, you guys-
it. But no longer will she actually build up the gradual temporary health like all of her allies. So you have to think about that in terms of, you have this armor health and you're using Inspire to keep it active and up, right? The biggest change, or I guess in terms of size, is that her shield actually gets bigger during this ult. So it actually gets pretty wide. It's a pretty big thing for Brig, and its health pool goes from 300 to 750. So she now has a big old shield on the front of her. And during rally, so during the ultimate, that shield can stun. So it actually has, as wide as it is, you can actually use shield bash during the ultimate. So you can get one, I think maybe 2 at the end of it. You can actually apply a stun there with that ultimate. So she is pretty scary. And to make sure she's not too like brutal in this. Her movement speed has been decreased there while she's.
I'm so glad that you guys understand why I've been in a bad mood for the last like 2 weeks. I feel so liberated. You know how annoying it's been for the last 2 weeks that I've been just kind of pissed off, and people come in and is like, "Oh, why are you so burnt out? Why are you so negative about the game? It's not even that bad. Why aren't you excited for season 4? Why are you like this?" I couldn't even say anything. I just sit there with my mouth shut. Couldn't even fight back because this was on the way.
In the ult from the 30% increase to down to 15%. But yeah, this one's a lot of fun.
Does Shield Bash keep the 50 damage? Yes.
We've been playing with it for a while. Been waiting to let the community get their hands on it as well. But I think the shield and everything has just been a great job from the team in terms of like the art and the presentation of it and how it looks.
I think anybody who has watched some of the trailers that we put out for Overwatch over the years, and has seen that one where Brig and Ryan like make the super mega shield, and so the minute I heard this, I thought about that, and I'm just like, I love this. Really, just like
it's the power trip
makes
thing,
Brig
though.
feel like a tank for just a moment.
Andy, I love you, dude, but like that's a problem. That's not good. That's not good when a support is tankier than tanks. That's not good.
For just a moment. The
thing is, we just watched Karki's video. It still gives rally to everyone else. The green health still goes to everyone else. It's still there. It's not like it's now just Brig that's insane. She still gives it to everyone else. She's just giga tanky now.
That I would have is like, these changes, they're really cool. Like, and you talked about some of the design.
Instead of enabling everyone else and keeping people alive, Brig is now the tank that also keeps everyone else alive.
Goals. We know that this change, might be a little polarizing for some people. Like, what are your feelings there on that? And like, how are we going to keep monitoring that and adjusting?
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep a pulse on whether this feels overwhelming or not in terms of being on the enemy side and how that feels. Our intention there is to make Brig feel like she's much more impactful during her ult and actually have a lot more decision making within that, adding some layers to the ultimate itself. So those are two things we're going to be mostly monitoring. Is Brig terrorizing everyone in terms of running around and stunning the whole enemy?
Let me tell you right now, the answer is yes.
Team. That doesn't happen that often unless she's comboing with like certain abilities too. So I think it's one of the things that we don't want to introduce, and then Brig suddenly is just the meta pick immediately, especially when we're introducing a brand new support hero to the lineup as
well. Okay, I hear what you're saying, but that's literally what you did. Like, no offense, like that's just
the meta pick immediately. We don't want to introduce, and then Brig suddenly is just the meta pick immediately, especially when we're introducing a brand new support hero.
That's literally what just happened.
We want to make sure like this is something that's really great for Brig, but also not too overwhelming on the other side.
I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, let's
a lot of questions. Yeah, because I'm a bit scared about Raid Boss Brig again. Played a bunch of Overwatch 1, and she took control over the meta for a very long time. Mm-hmm. But here are my questions. So first things first. How did you come up with the increase in the shield size?
Yeah, I think that it's actually a change the team's been playing around with for a while. This is before I was on the team, but there's a change that the team's been keeping in the back of their mind, something that we knew we wanted to look at. It didn't get into the initial Overwatch 2 changes. We didn't have necessarily the exact design we wanted at that point in time, but we tried a number of things, and the shield getting bigger was one of those things we've been trying. There was actually an iteration where the shield was invulnerable during the ultimate. That proved, I don't think it had the stun at that point, but that proved to be a little bit too much, and you kind of just like sat there with the shield and enemies were shooting. They're like, wait, what's going on here?
So Brig kind of like takes...
Yo, Andy laughing right there is so fucking funny. He even knows. He even knows.
Sat there with the shield and enemies
this is the... You can see him looking into the future right here. And he just goes, oh my God, somebody in the future is going to watch this and lose their shit.
They're like, wait, what's going
on? You can see the premonition. You can actually see it right now. It's happening.
Going on here,
So
It's like I want nothing to do with this. This is like when I did my dev chat and people were like, talk about Mercy. I was like, nope. I want nothing to do with that conversation.
It kind of like takes the role of a tank during her ultimate. That's the intention.
A little bit, yeah. Say if you have the sense where like, Reaper's going to come down, you can maybe pop this right before, stun the Reaper like right before he ults or in his ult, and sort of make some of those.
Oh my god, you can stun people out of their ults. Holy that's right. Old stun out of ults. Because the hard CC is like sleep dart now, right? Which is like, you know what I mean? There's been so little CC recently that like we haven't had quick bursts of CC in this game since Overwatch 2 came out, and it's back. It's back. Like we have like Rhine Pin, which is like hard CC. The tanks still have CC like Rock and Hook, but now easy CC is back. Brig Bash, and it's an ultra wide. Dude, you're gonna be able to have garage. You're gonna have house comp. May, BAP, Brig. You can build garages and windows. House walls. Rhyme with shield. You just build a house. You can play Fortnite.
Types of plays.
Were there any other ideas thrown around? And if yes, why were they scrapped for this one?
You know what the funny part is? Fortnite realized that building was killing its game and got rid of it. So here we are. We're making builder comp. Torb, yeah, there you go. We got the Bob the Builder comp.
Yeah, I think the Invul Shield one was one of the ones I distinctly remember. There was a number of other iterations, but that was the one I think we tried with the most and tried to get most gameplay sense out of. But it proved to just not be something that was intuitive to the enemies.
Would we see any extra utility added to her in the future other than her being just tanky overall? Because this is what I feel is like Brig's identity, kind of like a very tanky hero during her ultimate at least.
Yeah, we feel like she's in a relatively good place in terms of, how much she's getting played and how useful.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the dev chat they did before this, they talked about how Brig is the second strongest support in the game win rate wise, only beaten GM by Zenyatta? And then she had the highest win rate in every other rank. So then buffed her again.
She's being in certain places. I do think the armor pack adjustment that we made gave her a little bit better of a way to, actually heal her allies as well. So we'll sit on this one for a while, just like some of those Mercy changes, see where Brig ends up and see if there's anything.
Oh, that's I don't want to hear that. That means no changes till season 5. My ass, dude.
Actually needs to be added.
And I have one more question, if possible. One more, okay, because you mentioned the stun during her ultimate. How long is the stun duration?
It's pretty brief. So it's just like the old stun in terms of how long.
You can't say it's pretty brief and then just say it's like the old one. The old one was enough. That it was ass. We got up and we took Overwatch 1 and we put it over here without CC for a reason. That was what made it good. And we said, you know what? Why don't we just bring another tank back? Why not? Let's just go back. Let's turn this ship around. Take me home. Take me home. I want to go home.
That was, I think it's 0.5 seconds, correct?
0.5. And you can hit multiple targets with it?
You can hit multiple targets. Yeah.
Oof. Okay. So, I mean, this sounds good.
Oh my god, to go ooh.
From the perspective of the Brig player, but I'm curious what the enemy team will feel like. But you assured us that you're gonna keep a close eye on Brig and how strong she is or she isn't.
These are pre-recorded. You gotta remember that, chat. So these are not done live. The fact that made it through.
Hopefully, if she becomes like a very strong pick, things will get adjusted quite quickly.
Oh my
we'll
god!
Be keeping an eye on this one.
It's interesting too, because we're talking about like adding new utility to heroes, right? And we're going to be talking about Lifeweaver in just a few moments. But one thing I'm noticing, like with this change and with Lifeweaver's ultimate ability, like we're actually giving supports more ability to kind of take up space on the map, right? And to offer zone control.
Not to knock Andy here, because I know when he's explaining what they're doing, he is the messenger. I'm not mad at Andy. The messenger is just talking, even though I'm very tempted to kick the messenger down the Spartan well, like those 300, just to send a message, even though I love Andy. It's like, dude, come on. tanks, ever since the game has come out, have been getting pulled back little by little. And like, I understand why, but at the same time, it's made them like kind of feel like you're being controlled by the puppet supports. And DPS has been kind of mostly dominant the whole time the game has been out. Either it's Widow or Sojourn or Cass. And now we're like, you know what? Hey, let's make the supports also be able to take space too. And it's like, the power creep is going higher and higher and higher, but everyone always focuses on tank power creep and doesn't realize that supports is what enables half the tank bullshit to be viable. So it's like, do you know how many games you're going to lose off the spawn room because you don't have a support that wants to play a certain hero or play a certain way? And it's like, if you're a tank player, you're just going to get hard blame the entire time. They're like, tank diff. And I'm like, dude, yes, I lost the game on King's Row yesterday. I actually lost the game before that too, same person. I lost the game before, and their Widow and Hanzo were 30 and 28 and 2 each, and their Rhine was like, I think like 12 and 8. And people in my chat are spamming tank diff. I had a Genji Junkrat on Circuit Royale, and I'm getting spammed with tank diff. The f did you want me to do? Like, they have little Hanzo on a sniper map. Their Rhine was literally in our spawn, running around. And they're like, oh, tank diff. Then the next game, which was much closer, we lost. People were spamming tank diff again. Our Moira, we had a support player who said they hadn't played in 2 months. It was their first game in 2 months. They swapped Moira because they had a Widow, and were trying to kill them in the backline all of second point. And then swapped to Ana, so we had BAP Ana. Then they swapped off Ana to Zen. We ended up getting OT off of that. Then they swapped back to Lucio. Then swapped off of Lucio back to Ana, and then we lost because of that. And then on defense, went back to they just kept like swapping characters, and every time they swapped, we lost the fight. Like, if they stayed on for their ults, like they stayed Lucio or Zen, we won. We were literally destroying. I'm not joking. We almost full held them first point running BAP Lucio. They died and came back on Moira, and we instantly lost the point. Instantly. First fight, gone. So this is more support power creep to the point where you're literally not even going to have control of your games if the support players don't pick certain things, and theirs do. That was an Overwatch 1 problem. That was why GOATS was so strong. Not only did tanks make GOATS strong, it was supports.
Trend that you kind of want to continue.
Is this Samito? My guy, I know you made the same joke like 5 minutes ago and nobody laughed, but shut the fuck up.
What are kind of the team's goals in adding this additional utility to the roster?
Yeah, it's one of the goals. I mean,
maybe the third time.
Not necessarily the break change follows this goal, but there's like a overall goal supports that they're a bit more scrappy in Overwatch 2 than they necessarily were in Overwatch 1.
It's not salty if someone comes in and tries to make sly comments at you constantly and nobody's laughing at them and they keep trying to like go it to get the attention. That's not salty. That's just you're pathetic.
I think a lot of the changes we've been making over time, we'll say like Zen kick, right? And some of those types of changes where they can fight for themselves. You know, it shouldn't be this thing where a damaged character, you know, faces down a support character and sort of like knowing what's going to happen in that engagement. You know, they should be able to defend themselves. They should be able to fight in that engagement at least a little bit, right? So this is sort of the overall. We want them to be pretty scrappy compared to how they may have been Overwatch 1, and adding some things to let them fight back. And I think you've seen changes over time that have gotten them into that position.
So that's a lot of balance changes coming your way in Season 4, but I think we know why most folks are here today. So let's go ahead and dive straight into it, and let's talk about our newest support hero, Lifeweaver. Before we dive into the kit, if you haven't checked out the trailer, be sure to go check out the trailer. Be sure to check out the story video. It's all amazing. I know
this whole last segment is all Lifeweaver.
But Alex, let's get into the
nitty-gritty
about hero design and balance, and also have a little talk about some meta impact there. So to kick things off, would you like to go over the Lifeweaver's abilities in his kit?
Yeah, I'll review the kit for those of you who haven't seen it yet. So starting off, Lifeweaver's primary fire is Healing Blossom. You know, you hold it to charge, actually, this flower in his hand, and then you release it, has homing and soft targeting, so it will actually home into your ally, healing them.
Why didn't they show the indicator.
Like Mercy, Lifeweaver actually does have a weapon swap as well, though. So he can deal some damage. He has his Thorn Volley on the weapon swap.
Chat, you're not gaslighting him again. He didn't say wife lever. He said life weaver. Stop. I know you guys are frantically looking to hear you're frantically listening to try to hear wife lever. He said life weaver. He didn't say wife lever. Stop it.
It's a little unruly, but can deal some damage there. Now, moving on to his abilities. Our first ability here is Rejuvenating Dash. You can dash in any direction. It's on relatively low cooldown and heal yourself. Gives Lifeweaver a little bit of mobility there. And then we have, on the secondary fire, Pedal Platform. So Pedal Platform is Lifeweaver actually throws out this seed and it creates a platform in the world, right? And as someone steps on it, they get lifted up. So you can use this on allies to lift, say, a Widowmaker up to get a nice little vantage point. You can use it on enemies, say, stopping an ult like Orisa or something like that, or use it for yourself. That's actually one of the biggest use cases. Like we were throw it on the Pedal Platform and give himself a nice vantage point to heal his allies from.
Don't do it.
Our next ability is definitely one of the most eye-opening abilities that Lifeweaver has is Life Grip. So you actually pull an ally to you, to your location. So you envelop them in invulnerability state, and then they actually get brought towards you. It's on a pretty long cooldown. It's 20 seconds. But this can save a lot of your allies if they're at low health and in a bad situation. Say your Genji went in and he doesn't have any of his cooldowns left. It's like, all right, get back over here, right? Your Reinhardt charges in. Might have missed. Get back over here. So things of that nature are really great. And this ability in particular has a lot of playmaking ability just tied up in it. You can combine it with some ultimates to do some crazy stuff too. So a lot to talk about there. Next up, Tree of Life is the ultimate. Lifeweaver builds this tree.
That actually did sound like Tree of Life. I ain't gonna lie to you. That actually did sound like it to me.
In the world. And on the initial
I'm actually on your guys' side on that one. That one sounded like Tree of Life. I'm not
build. It actually does a pull.
Okay, I have to go back. I'm sorry.
Next up, Tree of Life is the
That sounds like Tree of Life. I maybe I have brain rot too, actually.
ultimate. Lifeweaver builds this tree in the world, and on the initial build, it actually does a pulse of healing, and then every second another pulse of healing. So it's just safe space that your team can actually rally around, and they can get constant healing from. It can be destroyed by enemies though, and it has 1,000 health. Just like Pedal Platform, these things can be destroyed. Pedal Platform has 400 health. The Tree of Life has 1,000 health. And then, last but not least, there's a passive on Lifeweaver as well called Parting Gift. So when he dies, he leaves this flower in the world, and enemies or allies can pick it up. So allies can pick it up for health, and enemies can also pick it up for health, but allies do get more. So that's Lifeweaver's kit.
We're not making fun of him. We're referencing my literal video from bad Lifeweaver players. Wow, I'm having a hard time saying this word. My two main concerns. I literally did it myself in this video and talked about how I was trying to say it. I said wife lever. Like, God, people love to reach.
Excited to talk about this here. It's one of my favorite heroes we released so far, and excited about any questions you may have about them.
So before we actually get into those questions and talk about the gameplay impact, we recently recorded some scrims with several of our very well-known content creators. So what do you say, folks? You want to take a look and listen at that?
Let's do it.
All right, let's roll it.
Just in the
flower down.
Yeah,
What are we trying?
Just for the flower.
Skip ahead a little bit. Yeah. We can watch like a little bit of gameplay. A little bit.
Where?
You have the cooldowns
It's too
for
late.
it.
It's too late.
Just right here?
Okay. It's a lid.
Genji.
I'm gonna put a platform that goes high right there.
What? Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested that you just get through the choke.
Okay.
Can you show red team, please? The f do you expect me to do that? The f do I look like, a genie? My camera? Guys. Are we for real? You guys want to see the team comps? We're watching for gameplay. It's literally creator pugs to just get some footage. And you want to see the players, what they're... I'm gonna go bananas today.
Thank you. Perfect.
Oh, they pulled him. I'm on the Weaver though.
Soldier 1. I'm gonna flank left side.
Can we kill Sigma maybe? Sigma's alone.
Oh, they're rezzing. Sigma low.
Soldier one.
Just gone. Like, just gone.
Man.
You act
Sigma
like
one, Sigma
May
one.
went to go punish the flank. Nothing. Like, just couldn't. You can't see Fitzy's POV obviously because it's a video, but like,
Okay.
I think I went a little far back.
I'm on the Weaver. Oh, there he is.
Where is it?
We can chase. I'm here.
Watch this. Okay.
Sigma
Goes
low.
up.
Soldier one.
So you see the health down bottom left? Okay, the caption's kind of blocking it. See the bottom left? Fitzy's shooting it the whole time.
Sigma 1. Sigma
Fitzy is
1.
literally repeatedly shooting it. Drops out and just insta-dead. Like,
I need help.
Where is he?
One
Oh,
Mercy.
there he is.
Mercy half. Mercy very
I'm
low.
hitting him. Oh, nice.
shrink cam so we can actually see gameplay. If you would like to see the gameplay yourself, you can go to Play Overwatch YouTube channel or their Twitch channel and go watch it on your own.
Here. We can chase her. Yeah. Oh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ow.
Weaver won.
I got lost.
Soldier 5 left.
Nope.
Oh, you got pulled.
Oh, there's that red or the rose thing.
They're on
Die.
Sombra now.
Oh,
Get
true.
the hang of this. I put a platform on the corner.
Okay.
Isn't this Eva?
I'll go aggro.
Sounds like Eva.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, I think.
Heals on you, Ski.
Oh, it is.
Ball hack. I'm one. He's one.
There's a platform.
Oh, you won.
Oh, wrong button.
Mercy on the left. Mercy one.
God, you control so
Wow.
hard.
Top
with
left.
That's how you know it's a
it's really,
creator,
really cheap.
a creator pug. Blade got kills.
Don't make any support main mad.
Yeah, that's definitely true. On Rissy. Mercy one. Yeah, pulled Mercy one.
Soldier
So he's the last one to die every
I can
time.
go for him soon. I'm in the. I
Oh
missed him.
man.
I'll push point it.
Soldier one.
Oh man. Watch a little bit more.
I blocked Diva's escape.
Wait. They're using it to block doors? Oh my god. Yeah, that's actually so smart.
Oh, yeah.
I can't help you guys.
Bruh.
I think we're good.
Bruh.
Okay, yeah.
Bruh.
Here, you can do it here.
That was like, SK almost got punished there like 4 times and just yeet,
Oh,
yeet,
hold on.
yeet, just
Yeah.
all the buttons to get away.
Flower's on the point. Oh.
Oh, there goes
dead.
the tree.
Oh, well, that's our flower.
Yeah, they
SK
put a
is
tree on
cracked.
top
No, obviously, SK is insane, but like,
of it.
the amount of utility he has to get away
I'm just wondering
is
why I didn't die
is
with EMP.
unbelievable. Like, I think
coming,
there was
I'm
like
coming,
4
I'm
different
coming.
buttons that hit there. This is insane. And I don't think they're not even playing Brig. Yeah, they're not.
Kill this ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is I can do that every time, but we don't have enough damage to kill him.
Yeah.
Oh, Mercy behind. Right side.
I'm chasing Mercy. Up.
I'm
Zarya, no
pushing. Zarya,
bubbles.
kill Zarya.
She's gonna get yoinked.
Oh, that yoink though. That was actually
I
insane.
can talk to your blade.
I can go in for Blade. I'm going in for Blade.
You guys play some competitive Mystery Heroes where the real players play? Real.
Got him. Give me
Real.
Can you get? Oh, got the blade. But is that our tree or theirs?
That's mine.
Ours.
Up, you don't. Oh, big.
Good save.
Zarya's is
Can we
there.
kill Zarya? Kill Zarya?
Try to reload. You got yoinked.
Dude, you can't. You're not even gonna be able to punish mistakes though. Like Guru is playing really far forward there. I mean, he probably does it on purpose though,
Back up
right?
a
So
little.
that like he
gonna
knows
go
he's gonna
and
get
flap.
pulled back. But it like,
play ball,
wow, that's gonna be infuriating. That is actually gonna be infuriating to play against.
I might go Hanzo.
Their EMP is matching my ultra.
I wonder. I wish I could see scoreboard. I'd love to see how much healing both the Life Weavers have. I would assume it's not that high.
Honestly, you could try to bait the tree, like put it really far in their back line, and then
Yeah,
if he doesn't
true.
EMP, we
Oh,
push
you
with
can
it or
die.
something.
I like that.
It'll hinder their vision.
Fitzy doing Fitzy things,
I'm
hiding in the
85.
corner there.
I'm gonna Valk now.
Alright, I'm putting it all the way up
Where I
there.
grabbed. Oh,
Zarya low.
I can res.
Also, by the way,
I'm cut off.
that was
by a
Aspen
tree.
who made that plan. That plan was actually so big-brained. Because they
Kill the
EMP'd
tree.
the grab, not the tree.
Nice.
Oh god.
I'm here.
I'm on their supports. I'm on their supports.
Soldier.
Soldier one.
They officially put Mercy 6 feet
Oh,
under
nice.
with the reverse.
Nice.
Let's
It's
go.
actually a huge nerf
That was
to
so
her
smart,
entire
Aspen.
kit.
Is it? I'm not a Mercy
I
specialist,
mean, if
so I
that's all he's
wouldn't.
going for, you know.
I wouldn't totally
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Plus,
helps
it's
me too.
literally.
I
That
thought
was
the
like
Guardian
walking.
Angel being
Yeah, helps
back at
really.
1.5 was
Can't
good.
see.
Let's skip ahead a little bit. Here? That's a little more.
Go right here. Everyone's
Okay.
standing together. We're gonna flower.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Ski says it's basically the same as the last GA version. They just hid the cooldown, which is clunky. Oh.
Ice wall. Wait, we can't. We got. No, why are you going? We can't get up it. It's not high enough.
Wait, you could actually do that, though, I think, if you timed and everybody jumped together. If everybody jumped together and then they put the wall down, like the wall was prepped, I think they could do it.
They're stealing my thing.
Come on, Mercy.
Oh, speed boost. True, Lucio speed boost.
Ram right side.
Was there a Mercy agreement maybe this game?
There's a. I don't know if this is helpful.
oh, I got scared.
Wow. Okay, that pedal right there put the soldier on high ground above him. Actually almost killed him right there. That could have been insane. You know what's funny, though? Is holding this choke with Mei isn't actually going to be that valuable anymore. Because you can just go over the top now. My main job now. Community is my side
We can
gig.
do it. Same spot.
Yeah.
We lost a good one today.
3, 2, 1.
And good luck with your new endeavors. I know you'll do well.
Mercy doesn't heal more if you're at half now.
Yeah.
Oh, I can grapple it. What the heck?
Oh, that's sick.
You like lifted it as I had a grapple on it.
Oh, I
What
just
in the?
used you to body
What did I
bump.
just witness? Needle's just doing some
I was able to
psychotic
do,
things.
Yeah. Oh,
In the shit,
I have to
sure,
step
yeah, I'll
on
use
it.
it.
Well,
dude. This is literally Fortnite.
Step hog. The hook.
Tell me this is not a game of Fortnite. You
I
can't.
was able to do like Diags off of it.
I'm just close left.
Of course, Quake's talking about doing diags off of it.
Okay.
I
Yeah, we're
literally
diags off
was.
the flowers. It's gonna be
I
sick.
don't even know what else to say.
Hog and Marin.
It's the most on-brand thing I've ever heard.
They're going up.
That's so much
Yeah,
damage.
alright.
I messed up.
It's kind of rolling May.
Valking.
I can pull you out.
But see,
No,
again
I-
though, that was a perfect example. Oh my god, it's gonna happen. I think Fitzy went to try to ult right here when he comes down, and SK just dashes away. But watch this. This is why this character is so spooky.
Hog and Marin.
Is SK's gonna probably die here and get pressured out, and
Yeah.
just goes, nope, see you later, and then goes up top and can just start
They're
healing.
going up.
It's perfectly safe. You can't do anything about
We
that.
know.
Oh, hog right.
I messed up.
I'm
And
Valking.
now I think the ult's
can
gonna
pull
come
you
out
out.
right here.
Nah, ain't no way he just did that to me.
Oh,
I didn't get to see it.
He just.
Reaper's
nah.
low.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna give him some ticks and I'll go.
yeah. Wait, I'm here with you. You got her. You got her.
Nah.
Oh,
Like, well, what is this? Star Wars? Like, what is this?
I got him. Just burst through them. Nice.
Oh, I just killed
Is
my
that tree gonna die to the cart? Nope.
No?
Yeah, that was one thing I saw last night. Is apparently the cart doesn't kill the tree.
Okay, I'm pocketing Guru from now on. Goodbye.
Bye.
Why not? I don't know. It just doesn't.
I'm carroting.
Okay, Guru's kind of bullying.
Take the platform!
I got a Genji and a ball on cart.
He's gonna, yeah, he's gonna go over here. Oh my god! Oh, I saw what he was cooking. Oh my god, that's so terrifying.
Indian.
Can you switch character, please? I don't like Roadhog. Yeah, sure, man. I got you.
Yeah, Mercy. Yeah. Pulling 6.
Without fail, it's a first-time chatter every time. That's why I think it's funny.
They have to like jump and then look at that. You see that flower?
Yeah.
Like, people always say, "Oh, they're trolling." I sometimes don't think they are. I think it's funny as shit, though.
Left, you pull. Oh, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, I put a platform though.
Oh no, it doesn't do everything. We're so spoiled.
Wait, it kind of blocked him there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just had an idea. This flower is blocking Guru from going up the stairs. Like, dude, could you do that and then just like leave and then they have to destroy the 400 HP platform?
We're so spoiled.
Bruh.
Ball on you.
Uh-oh.
Also just dash out of hook there.
He's anti.
He's, burning. Nice.
I mean, you can do that with Tree, though. Yeah, but that's his ultimate. That's different than a cooldown.
Goodbye.
God. That thing is scary.
Tell me when you get into it.
Sorry.
I get scared. Mercy 1.
Kinda
I have Diva now, no hog.
Yeah, okay.
What's up, Bam Bam?
I trusted you.
Well, I won.
This was terrible.
Yeah, we
We forced an
I
ult.
trusted you.
We forced an ult. Nice shot,
Kill
Fitzy.
inside.
Protect me.
I'll try it. Nice.
I used you to body block.
Yeah, I was able to.
You know what the thing is
Yesterday
most
I
people
was able to,
are
like, pull
focused on the
somebody to save
trolling,
myself.
myself included, of the troll potential of the character.
Oh.
But he actually is
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
probably be so OP at the
I
same
can't
time.
know anyone.
So, like, if you see someone pick the character, you're like, oh, that's an OP character. They're probably going to carry. Or they're going to troll me. You can't tell the difference.
There's a platform decade to your right.
Oh, yeah. Oh!
Okay. You don't go that far. And I'm booped, and I'm dead.
You're going in the...
Needle's kind of bullying this poor
Oh,
fucking
that
game.
actually, that was clutch. That was
Dude,
actually clutch.
oh my god. Imagine that. Imagine you go in for a big, huge pile drive slam. They go to CC you and just yoink. Oh, he's easily going to be unpunishable. Ball, this actually is probably going to go insane with Ball. He slid back down. I didn't know that worked like that.
What? I pulled you while you were remeching, but you
Okay,
died.
this is a wasted tree. Alright. Kill the tree.
Kill the
Killing-
tree.
Okay, let's win. We win this. Ash and window.
Yeah. I can platform on the center of bridge.
I think we just
Troll
do it,
stuff
like,
is
right way
over
down.
exaggerated.
We
He
just
has
do it
so
on
much
the ear.
potential. I don't think it's over exaggerated in any way, shape, or form. He does have tons of potential, but that does not say that the troll potential is not a viable concern.
When they come out.
Like, that's apples to pancakes.
Okay.
You can do it. I think.
He took
Hey,
it.
poop me. Yeah. Is it like possible to do it right under my feet? Or does it like not deploy until I move? Or can it only be beside me? I'm running.
Holy shit, hard trolled! Holy shit, that's awesome!
Your touch screw.
Holy shit.
Mercy goes for me.
No, I'm sorry.
Winnable.
Wait, huge platform. Wait, Eva's actually popping.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Really good. Oh my god.
What the f-
Ball is gonna retouch. No?
Okay.
Okay. Holy.
The only good use of that ult I've seen is literally a wall.
So Genji.
Earlier they predicted and put the tree in their back line, and so they grabbed right here when they flipped sides. They grabbed right here, EMP'd, but the tree was on the point, and so after they survived the grab EMP with the lift, they walked into the tree and they took the point with it. Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of application for it.
He's on lower.
I would say the most noticeable is when you use it as a wall, but there's definitely a lot of them. Gonna hit it for attention. Honestly, I respect it.
You have Kiriko now.
Are you cooking over there?
Can you pull someone out of a junk trap?
I'm cook.
I would imagine so, actually.
What?
Ball one.
Oh, you're so good.
Kiriko.
I got booped forward.
We flank kill.
Or the... Yeah.
Yeah.
What? They're pushing
I've season
hard.
4.
Almost back.
My god.
I'm gonna go since you guys
Aspen
are
and
back
SK
there.
are literally just flanking the back lines, and then puts the tree... Dude, puts the platform... Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh, what did I just witness?
Bastion?
Wait.
Back one. Got Bastion.
Nice.
They're playing Fortnite! What's happening?
Yeah, I'm running.
What? What? There's just so much happening! Flower, tree. Built a whole garden and a farm?
Can you wall me up to the thing?
Bastion's up top.
Damn,
He's one.
Did anyone just notice that? The Lifeweaver dashed away from the blade, and he had to change targets. It's actually just enough to dash away from blade? That's...
Can you wall me up to the thing?
Poor Genji players. All 12 of them.
Thoradon.
So he dashed away, and then he had to change targets.
He's so low.
What?
He got yoinked. Sorry.
I thought I hit him.
No, it's like I'm still like using that. I'm like, what's happening?
We win here.
Yeah, platform.
Good job.
Platform whatever.
I have tree in a sec. Holding it for the burst. Big burst.
Nice. Yuri? Yeah.
I'm going
I'm honestly surprised it didn't go more damage after the tree went out. Another platform. Still has the save online if Guru gets in trouble.
I got a pull for whoever. I can't see you.
Yeah, Guru was trying to...
You can pull after
I think
res.
Guru
You can
clutches
pull
this
after
all by
res.
himself. Full charge Zarya. Yoink! I don't know. Okay, I think that yoink might have been slightly troll. I think he had that, but you know, I get it.
There's like so snares and there's like all this other stuff.
Yo, imagine you get pulled off the point in OT though, like real talk.
Yeah, quick lob.
You know what I mean? Like pulled off the point in OT, and it's like I had that. You know what I mean? Bottle takes 1,000 bits.
Have you ever done a meta prediction YouTube VOD? Cheers, love the content. They killed our boy Rain for next season.
There's not really a point to
do
doing
it,
something like that. Sounds like a lot of work for not much gain.
I'll shoot a rocket here.
Appreciate 1,000 bits though.
Okay.
Getting games though, I think it's the 5 months. Aspen's on Brig. Uh-oh.
He's on the platform.
Yeah, I think that probably seals the deal. They're gonna probably Brig Lifeweaver. Yeah, I think that seals the deal. I think we know who wins this game.
Brig, right side.
Yeah, quick lob.
Ram hacked. Platform on you, Guru. To your right. You're running into it.
Yeah, try to. Oh, it's like.
It was on top of something. I have another one in
Oh, it's
two.
OT anyways, actually. That's not fair for me to say that. I just realized.
Maybe one above. Got him.
Live Vivo 1.
I'm dead, guys.
Can we play by me? They want to. Oh, they're gonna res, I think. It's okay, it's okay.
They pulled. Wait, Yito was looking to stop res and they pulled him out of it?
I'm getting
That's
res.
so funny.
Close left, low.
That's so funny, actually. He was guarding for res and got yoinked out. Oh, no. You even heard it like, oh, no, it's okay. It's all right.
That's so disorienting.
Oh, that's going to get people so upset. Because, like, that's a god-honest mistake. Nothing's wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like,
For MP.
oh, God, that's going to tilt people, though. People are going to get so mad.
What was what?
Do I save my visor for your MP?
No. I'm gonna use it on the flower.
Brig Life Weaver might not be enough heals.
Flower here.
Well, I mean, if Brig is actually getting played, they're gonna play Brig Zen. They're not gonna play Life Weaver. They're playing Life Weaver in this for content. But like,
Yeah.
I bet when this rally comes online, we will know what happens.
3, 2, 1.
Yep. They're moving right. Move left. I got it.
Dude.
They're just stacking ults. They're.
All right.
I think they know what they're gonna go for.
Got the MP, got the...
Can you break the pedal? Yes.
They have
The
their
block
tree
teammates too?
probably
Yes.
before me.
I'm just gonna.
It's a solid object like Maywall.
I'm gonna push a Zarya up top.
They could have just pedaled up to her. Actually,
I'm pushing her.
I'm gonna rally.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Stay behind my shield.
Here it comes. Just gonna walk in and just literally destroy them. Oh, they popped trees, so they got stuck. Wait, actually got hard trolled by the tree. Wait, the tree literally saved them. Oh my god. Wait, that actually cost them the game.
The double green.
That was insane.
Nah. They couldn't walk in together because he was stuck in the tree.
I'll never use Break on.
They were gonna walk in Brig Ramatra and just walk over them and couldn't.
Never mind.
Holy sh! That's insane.
No, they just used.
No, yeah, they used the
Come up here.
There's no play-by-play to even make. The tree literally just stopped the whole play. They were gonna win the game right here. Like that literally wins them the whole game because they walk in with Rally and Ramatra. Watch.
Stay behind my shield.
So they have Rally, they have Ramatra, their whole team's falling back into this room. They're literally just gonna clap them. It's game over. But the tree spawns on Ramatra and puts him into it. He can't move. He's stuck.
What?
It's not even like he's body blocked in. He's literally stuck in the ceiling. This is literally GG. It's GG easy. It's going to be all over. It's not like he's stuck in the room with them and he can't get out like a Maywall. He's stuck in the tree.
He's stuck in the tree.
And he can't do damage. He's stuck in it. So all of these people in here who are low HP and going to die to Aspen and him, and Aspen and Yeatle, Aspen actually ends up dying because of it. Because they're supposed to walk in together. So Aspen goes around, I think. Oh no, she tries to hit through the tree and just gets rolled because of the small opening. But he couldn't do anything. Nah, that's insane.
Shoot him!
Bro.
And then they treat on top of him a second time? Oh no, he died. Oh no, that was SK's tree, I think, to keep them locked in there. Nah, that's insane.
The double green.
That was insane.
He'll get quaked on.
I'll never
Kill
use Break on.
Aspen. Block Aspen off. Never mind.
Nah, that's actually insane. That is legitimately the craziest thing I've ever seen. It actually lost to a tree. Lost to a tree. I cannot believe that. And people think Brig isn't broken. wait. Oh, break isn't broken. Oh, that wasn't. Yeah, that was going to be a great example of why Rally is going to be so strong this season. But like that actually got turned off by a tree. Like I'm not even joking. Like that was going to be a perfect example because they were going to walk in 2v3 and just destroy them. But the tree literally just like he got stuck. Like like you get stuck in Maywall, you can kind of break your way out, or it's like it's not last that long. The tree lasts a good amount of time. And it's 1,000 HP, so it's way more punishing to get stuck in a tree than to get stuck in the Maywall. That's insane. The tree is 15 seconds. Like, imagine getting stuck in a tree imagine not being able to be in the fight for 15 seconds. Think about that. If you couldn't be in the fight for 15 seconds, because you're stuck in a tree. To be fair, it's an ultimate. Oh, because it's an ultimate, you should just not be able to play the video game for 15 seconds? Yeah, that sounds like a great game design. All right, they go back and actually they talk about stuff. Cool.
Wow. Okay. So what is
15 seconds is a lot? You're true.
From watching that video.
True. 15 seconds is a lot of time.
It was that there is so much to learn with this new support hero. I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually turn this over to the expert. ML7, you are a support legend in the Overwatch community. So we know the questions that you're going to have are going to be exactly some of the ones that many of our support specialists are going to have. So let's get into the details. Get granular, get nitty gritty. What kind of questions do you know that high rank support players will have?
I'm gonna dive right into it, Andy. I'm super excited about Lifeweaver being added to the support roster because I think that his kit will cover
I gotta move again? Oh my god, you little bastards freaked out about where I was so you could see the teams before. I hate you all. I literally hate you all. I'm out. Okay.
One of the main weaknesses that a lot of heroes in Overwatch have, which is the lack of mobility. I've always classified supports as escapists and survivalists. What I mean with this, escapists are heroes that have a way of running away from team fights, but usually the ways of them running away from team fights are just for themselves. I'm looking at Kiriko's Swift Step or Moira's Fade. And also you have what I call survivalists, as in if you want to take the fight against them, they're kind of forced to take the fight. So heroes such as Ana or Zenyatta, they lack mobility. So I think that Lifeweaver will bring a lot of utility into the support roster, same as similar to Lucio's speed boost, because he gives you the possibility of repositioning teammates in fights, especially with his pull and also with his flower that he lifts his allies up. Now, I got a question for you, Alec, about Lifeweaver. Introducing a new hero always brings a big shift into the meta. Do you think this will be the case with him as well?
I think when we introduce a new hero, yes, they always shake up the meta in some way. I think in particular for Lifeweaver, there's multiple tools that we could see really shaking it up. And
don't say it.
It could be pedal platform, it could be life grip. I think having those both on one support is definitely going to bring some change. Just some of the stuff we've been seeing, some of the compositions and some of the plays you can make. We're excited to see what players at a really high level actually do with all.
I have no clue. It's 22 months.
Do you think that he has a very high skill ceiling to master him?
It's interesting because actually part of our design intention when we were developing Lifeweaver was to have a support that actually didn't require a lot of aim skill. So his primary healing, for example, has homing, you have that charge up, it has a good amount of range, so you don't really have to be super, amazing at aiming to actually play Lifeweaver. What it does take is a lot of team coordination. There's a lot going on. Your teammates might need to be aware of where the platform is when you're going to use Life Grip effectively. So there's a lot of game sense here with Lifeweaver, but I wouldn't necessarily say that there's a ton of actually mechanical skill because you have that homing healing. And that's one of the things we really wanted to focus in on at the beginning of his development. I still think, Lifeweaver, you still have to fight for yourself. Sometimes you switch to switch to Thorn Volley and can defend yourself in some situations, and knowing exactly where to throw the platform to is important. But our focus was making another support that was easy to heal on in terms of the aim skill necessary.
And could you describe his playstyle? As in, is this something that we've seen in the support roster so far, or is this something completely unique?
I think these abilities are definitely completely unique in terms of what we've seen in the support roster. I look at sort of Lifeweaver as having very high healing output. So, in terms of who you may pair alongside Lifeweaver, not a ton of burst healing. You have to be prepared for those situations. If you aren't prepared for the situation,
the tree.
his
Tree's
healing
big
isn't as
burst.
strong, right? But I think the two things we talk about, like being able to control space and put your allies in different positions. He can really warp how the fight is approached and how your allies approach it and how aggressive your allies can be. I think some of the examples we talked about, so it's like Reinhardt or Genji or, some of those flankers that may go in and they can be a bit more aggressive, maybe a little reckless because they know Lifeweaver is protecting them as well, in some of those battles.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you bring up about having to be a little bit more
Thinks it's doing
prepared
too
for
much.
healing. And I think, as players are kind of trying to draw some comparisons, and I know ML wants to get into this a little bit later on, but like I personally, when I played him in some of our internal play tests, the way that I thought about and approached it was almost kind of like the Kuriko Fudas, right? Where it's like, or even like for me going way back as like a WoW player, right? It's the idea of pre-healing, right? Of anticipating the damage that's going to come to your tank, your damage, whoever's getting targeted, right? And having the game sense to know when it's appropriate that you should actually be pre-healing and anticipating that. So speaking of internal play tests, ML, I do remember you have a question actually about some of our internal play tests.
Do you think that Lifeweaver will be as polarizing in the game as Kiriko was, team comp-wise? Do you think that he has the possibility of defining the next meta?
Yeah, I think he brings a unique set of tools. So I definitely think there's a chance that Lifeweaver unlocks a lot of compositions. In particular, like what damage characters are playing alongside him, which tank characters are playing alongside him. Yes, there is potential there for him to just unlock new things and new ways of playing and new ways that teams are actually approaching the game. Whether that be from because you have life grip, or whether because you have the pedal platform that can actually put your team in new situations and new areas of the map.
Are there parts of his kit that you fear might be too weak or too strong?
I think the one thing we're definitely going to be looking at as Lifeweaver launches is his healing. How is that healing tuned? Is it actually too high for how much value he's getting elsewhere in his kit as well? And then
wait, they think the healing might be too high? Oh, that's interesting.
And I think Life Grip in particular. Life Grip's probably one of those very it's probably one of those very attractive abilities.
I feel completely the opposite. Like his healing is low, but you can't raise it because otherwise he breaks the whole character.
Within a fight, and we need to keep an eye on okay, how much value are players actually getting out of it? Because we think it's very, very powerful, but are players seeing that value immediately, in those first few weeks as they're playing Lifeweaver?
Number-wise, how does his healing and damage output feel like compared to other supports?
Yeah, so his healing per second falls a tiny bit below Mercy, but you do have that range, you do have the homing, you do have all of that, so it does feel really good. You can be a very high healing output support on Lifeweaver, and the damage is pretty high. It's about 110 DPS on his Thorn Volley, so that can be pretty high. It's one of those skills we see in playtests in particular. As players get used to Lifeweaver, they're using that a little bit more, swapping weapons a little bit more in terms of their, going back and forth.
Well, I could tell you from my 10 minutes of even touching the character, healing is basically useless. Not basically useless, sorry. Let me be a little more concise. I am going to do way more damage than healing because it builds my ult 10 times faster. Yeah, ML7 was just platforming himself and shooting people. The healing sucks ass. What makes the healing good? He was kind of right about the flankers thing. Is if you have a tracer in their backline, it's actually very easy to just charge up and go because it's gonna lock on. You don't have to worry about hitting that shot, right? But you're gonna be looking to do more damage because it charges your ult. You're basically gonna be just constantly farming ult and using your flower over and over. So, very questionable assessment.
So they're getting more damage overall. But the weapon itself, as I said earlier, is unruly. It's not necessarily. It does have a significant amount of spread.
Right? I guess it also matters what playtest are they talking about. Are they talking about the gold plat players, lower elos? Because Mercy, for example, in gold has tons of healing. It's not that uncommon that your Mercy has the most healing in the game in silver, gold, plat. It's actually not that uncommon. Because they just sit there and they just perma heal the entire time the tank, and they're just gonna pump it. But in higher ranks, Mercies have much lower amounts of healing because they're focusing on the utility of the damage boost. So if he's talking about the healing numbers are almost like Mercy because you're sitting there using the heal the entire time, I don't think he's probably wrong. He's probably right. He's got the data on that. But that's not how you actually play the character. Like, just because you can pump numbers higher doesn't mean that you're playing the character correctly. It's the same person who says, oh, I'm stuck in bronze. I play soldier. I get 50,000 damage a game, but I have 17 limbs. It's like, yeah, no shit, because you're sitting there shooting their Reinhardt the entire game, and they're just pumping heals into their Reinhardt, and both sides are basically just trying to shove as much healing into their butt as they possibly can, you know?
So you have to really kind of learn how that feels.
I wanted to ask you, like, how fast can you swap between his Healing Blossom and his Torrent Valley? Is it similar to swapping from healing to damage boost on Mercy, or is it similar to swapping from the staff to the pistol?
It's faster, actually, than how Mercy can swap. But the one thing you have to keep in mind is when Lifeweaver swaps back to healing, he doesn't have it charged, right? He then has to recharge his healing and get it back up. So you have to be pretty mindful of that in particular, because Lifeweaver at 0 charge isn't going to be able to output much healing until he charges up Healing Blossom to some significant level.
All right, folks, we are running short on time, but that is okay because today we are introducing a new segment that we're calling Rapid Fire. Here's how this is going to work. We're going to put some time on the clock. ML7 will have all that time to ask as many questions that he can ask and get an answer from Alec on. Alec, are you ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
All right. ML7, are you ready?
I'm good to go, Andy.
Here we go, folks. On your mark, get set, go.
His life grip. How do you plan to prevent the troll potential?
There's some baked-in logic there to prevent some troll potential, and we actually allow allies being pulled, they can use movement abilities inside of it, so they can get out of it.
Misclicks happen in-game. Will this ability have a confirmation option like Echo's Copy or Ana's Nano Boost?
It will not have a confirmation option at launch.
Is there an invulnerability to it?
Yes, allies are invulnerable for the duration of the life grip ability.
Petal platform. In theory, can you have 100% uptime of your petal platform?
No, there's going to be a little bit of time where you do not have it. It's on a bit longer cooldown, and that is where Lifeweaver is at his most vulnerable.
It's a 12-second cooldown, and it's a 10-second platform. He's not technically wrong, but...
Can you place a May wall or a Sim TP?
By confirmation, chat, he means like nano boost. I don't think he means like the player on the opposite side confirming it. I think he means the player using it having confirmation, like you have confirmation nano.
On top of it.
Yes, you can.
Do you think that this ability might influence the meta the most?
I don't think Petal Platform will influence the meta the most, but it has a lot of neat tricks you can do with it, such as...
Whoa, that is...
raising up your allies, or hey, you know, see Arisa ulting, you can raise her up in that.
Whoa, that is by far the strongest part of his normal kit, other than the ultimate. Whoa.
That ult's gonna be kind of not doing anything anymore.
And you activate it halfway across the map.
You can activate as far as you can throw it. It's actually something you throw from Lifeweaver. It can bounce off walls too. It will not go halfway across the map.
Can you grapple hook to it?
Yes, you can.
Now moving on to the passive, Parting Gift. Does this stay up until he respawns?
It's up for 12 seconds, so slightly longer.
You pick up Parting Gift up like you could back in the day pick up Torbjorn's armor packs.
You just walk over it, and that's how you'll pick it up like a health pack.
How much does...
I'm concerned that he didn't know the answer to that.
Does it heal?
It heals allies for 250 and enemies for 75.
Can you like and you don't have to know niche knowledge like that, but it's like Alec is somewhat new to the team, so like thinking about the Brig changes, how much of that prior history is known? You know what I mean? Like we know what Brig having stuns and stuff like that does to this game. We've been there. You know what I mean? So
activate Petal Platform without having anybody step on it.
A player has to step on it. It's a pressure-sensitive platform. At that point, it will rise up.
Can you activate it with a teleport?
No, it will not activate that way.
Does the healing from the ult
answer like that mean more accessible? Potentially.
Made work through walls, or is the line of sight?
I'll give the benefit of the doubt.
It does need line of sight.
Does he have any movement?
I've just been thinking about that the entire time. Is like, I don't know how the break thing came back. Like seriously. Like that genuinely is really concerning.
Yes, actually, as you raise up on a platform, if you jump at the top, you'll actually get a much bigger jump.
Does he have a modified headshot amplifier?
How long was Brig meta? Brig's never not been meta since she came out. Like, there's been small parts where like other things are better, but Brig was hard meta for about 2 years, and then actually forced the game to go to a role queue format. So in old Overwatch, you could pick any character at any time. Brig was actually the linchpin that made it so we went to 2-2-2 in Overwatch 1. So when you say how meta was Brig, Brig actually killed the game, most people think. Like, when most people ask the question, what killed Overwatch 1? The answer for most people is Brig.
Like Kiriko has, or is it the same like most other heroes that can headshot?
It's like most other heroes. It's ×2.
And ding, 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 ding. We are all done there. Thank you so much for
The
that.
reason she's not as active much now is maps not favoring her. What are you talking about? Brig has the highest win rate, Masters and below, for every support character. In GM, it's only Zenyatta that's higher. Brig is extremely good right now. Just most low-level players do not know how to play her. They just don't have a clue. They don't actually know how powerful Inspire is. They play her wrong. They play her like Reinhardt when you should play her more like Zenyatta. That's the problem. They play her more like Reinhardt when you should play her more like Zenyatta. And this just literally shored up her one weakness.
That was actually a lot of fun. I don't know, Alec, how did you like that?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Lifeweaver. We're very, very excited about this hero.
Oh, I'm more talking about the rapid fire.
Oh.
We may have to start doing all of our interviews like that.
Sure.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even remember now. I'm sorry.
Well, let's talk about let's wrap things up, folks. There is, like we said earlier, there's a lot of changes coming your way in season 4, from hero balance to competitive updates to quality of life changes. Everything aimed at making Overwatch 2.
Why was role queue forced by Brig? Great question. So DPS basically disappeared for 2 years, and so what they did is they started buffing all the DPS characters. Like, at one point, Reaper had 50% lifesteal trying to kill goats, which was a 3 tank, 3 support composition of Zen, Brig, Lucio, and then tanks would be Ryan, Zarya, Diva. Ryan got nerfed, Zarya got nerfed a few times, Diva got nerfed a few times, Brig got 19 nerfs. I don't remember if I think Lucio might have got a small nerf at one point. Zenyatta got buffed, I think, to do 30% Discord, try to kill tanks faster. But yeah, basically every DPS character got hard buffed over time, and that they were basically trying to kill the comp. They couldn't do it. It wasn't possible. It was just so good. It like, even at the end of GOATS, it was kind of dying because Ball 4 DPS 1 Mercy ended up becoming good with Pharah comps. Shanghai Dragons actually showed it off and how good it was, and they won. Did they win a stage or they won Overwatch League with it? I don't remember. But basically, you'd still run GOATS most of the time because you could kill so much time sitting on cart or sitting on point, just because you would stay alive for so long. For so long, you could sit on the cart and just stay alive, that you would over time win the game with your time bank. It was so broken fundamentally that they couldn't figure out how to balance it because they didn't want to nuke Brig, and they didn't want to admit that Brig was the problem. So then we went to 2-2-2 to make sure that DPS would never get thrown out of meta again.
Most fun and most exciting and the best experience possible for all of you. So for all the details, again, please be sure to check out the Season 4 patch notes. Those are live on the official forums right now. Before we get out of here, though, ML, would love to get your perspective on Lifeweaver. Now that we've had a chance to ask all these questions, I really want to know, from your perspective, what is the impact that Lifeweaver is going to have on just overall game balance, and how may he shift the meta?
I think that Lifeweaver opens up a lot of possibilities that weren't possible before, because a lot of heroes lacked mobility, and he covers that weakness very well. Now, initially, I suspect that he will not be... it will take some time to master his kit, is what I'm trying to say. He seems like a very complex hero, so the more hours we're going to have on him, the more we're going to understand how strong he is. Team comp-wise, I feel like initially people are going to play with him in such a way that you want to like pull allies that are getting dived, but with time we might see this evolve into trying to speculate that extra mobility that he can offer to his allies by just stacking heroes that he can play with that have a lot of mobility themselves, such as Winston, Reaper, maybe even Genji.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's all
Alec,
fair.
your
All
take
true.
on what ML just said?
Yeah, I mean that all sounds exciting. I think it's one of those things where once we unleash a hero onto the entire player base, we just are delighted when we see what they come up with too that we may not have seen in our initial playtest, right? So we're excited to see how Lifeweaver shakes everything up and to see the creative compositions that players build around him.
Very cool. So obviously, like, we don't want you to be like making your meta predictions or your like hero balance tiering, Alec. that's kind of like not what we do. Like, we don't determine
That's
that
a
stuff.
bad
We let the
idea.
community
Don't.
talk
Yeah,
to us
Andy
about it,
knows.
right?
Don't do it. Stay
but
away.
From a design perspective, though, and you as the leader of the hero design team, like, I'm really curious to know, what are you hoping to learn with season 4?
Yeah, I think with season 4, we're really looking at, how when a new support comes out, like what do players do initially with that hero? It's been since launch, we haven't had a new support yet. It was Kariko, and now we have Lifeweaver, and just seeing how players adapt to the support that really they need to be aware of, right? I think the platform in particular is something where it's like Lifeweaver is going to throw it out for you. Are you ready for it? Do you know how to like actually play with this thing? Do you know how to play around Lifeweaver? So I think those are some of the things I'm most excited to see players answer that question. I'm most excited to see like how they're adapting to Life Grip, and whether that's something they're in the back of their head, they're like, oh, I can do this. I can go in with Reinhardt because I know Lifeweaver is going to protect me. Yeah. I'm excited to see how they really adapt there. And that is something that's, this year in particular, there's so many tools available in his kit that, it's going to be really interesting.
That's actually super interesting, Alec. I know me personally, like, I'm super excited to see when the Overwatch League pros get their hand on Lifeweaver. I think he's going to open up so many different comps. I think it's going to be really exciting and interesting to see folks with that kind of like high of a skill ceiling get their hands on him.
All right, that was today has been a trip. All right, that was something. Okay. Oh man, dude, fucking break, man. I can't believe it's real. I cannot believe it's fucking real.